Yeah, I mean, it feels like a pivotal moment, to be honest with you, Pete. A vital one, maybe a turning point. We'll wait and see. Obviously, it's in Manchester City's hands now, but having been 2 goals up against the team that's rock bottom on 9 points, just not good enough for a team that's hoping to win the title. And the way, things unravelled at the end, Trossard just trying to waste time, and then David Raya panicking, coming out when he didn't need to come out. It doesn't bode well, really, for Arsenal being able to handle the pressure, I think.
When you're looking at this game with Arsenal, it didn't feel like they were feeling very comfortable throughout the whole game. They scored 5 minutes into it with Bukayo Saka. And then you're thinking, can they take control at this point? Where do you think that was lacking in this game?
It's difficult to say. That having got off to such a great start, the perfect start, you're thinking, yeah, they're going to put the foot on the accelerator and take the game away from Wolves, but they almost stepped off it, allowed Wolves back into the game, gave them some confidence, and Arsenal did make it difficult for themselves. But at 2-0, you're thinking that it's home and hosed, and then Hugo Bueno produces something special, and all of a sudden this place is alive again, and Arsenal get twitchy. That there were clearly a lot of nerves within the camp. The whole situation seems to be getting the better of them. It did tonight, and going forward, hopefully that won't be the case going forward, but it doesn't bode well, Pete.
Yeah, Smarges Merce. You're right, mate.
Hi, Merson.
It's going to come on full blast now. Being bottle jobs, melting. Last few years, it's full on now. Drawn away at Brentford and then being 2 goals up against the worst team in the league. Let's not get away from that. They've got 10 points now. It's going to come on. How are they going to cope with this now?
Yeah, big job for Arteta, Merce, isn't it, now, to try and calm things down. He's really got to earn his money, I think, because what you saw out there at the final whistle with Jesus on the Wolves defender losing his composure, rattled. Obviously, the whole Arsenal side were frustrated, but they've just got to settle down. We've spoken so often about them being the best team, the best squad in the league. But, that counts for nothing if you haven't got that composure and ability to play and get results under pressure. And as you say, Merce, that word bottle will be used quite a bit in the next few days.
Smuds, just a quick one. Thinking about the other side of it now with Manchester City, what will they be feeling now, do you think? Will they be rubbing the lips? Will they be looking at it, going, this is us now, we can catch them?
Yeah, I think they will, Conor. Yeah, most definitely. They'll be thinking they can feel our breath on the shoulder. And with their experience, with Guardiola's experience, they'll be really fancying it now. Obviously, it's a big game against Newcastle for them at the weekend, but they can almost feel the nerves of the Arsenal team watching that tonight. I mean, they probably wouldn't have expected what we saw right at the end, but they saw it, and now they really would have gained confidence from it.
Smudge, just asking again, they've gone 2-0 up. When I'm watching the game, even when they go 1-0 up in 5 minutes, it seems like they're not playing to their full potential. It seems like they're playing in second gear, and it's like, well, we're not going to let in any goals, so 1-0's enough, and it's a dangerous score, and then they go 2-0 up. They've got to treat every game like a cup final, and it seems to me they're not at the moment, and it's just a bit lackadaisical.
Yeah, I mean, they dominated possession in that first half, having gone a goal up, but they didn't create many chances, Merce, did they? And looking at the stats before the game, Manchester City had scored 16 more goals from open play than Arsenal, the league leaders Arsenal. And I know we say it doesn't matter how you score, and Arsenal have been brilliant at set pieces, but 16 more goals from open play. And that tells you that Arsenal aren't creating so many as they should be, and they certainly didn't, having gone a goal up when you would have expected them to take charge and maybe get the second and get the third. But it's just not happening for them at the moment.
Alan, thank you very much. We'll let you go. Go and get yourself warm.
Cheers so much.
Thanks, Pete. Cheers.
Just picking up on that in terms of Arsenal not scoring enough goals, which is what Alan was saying, where do you think that's coming from? Because when you are top of the table, you need to be at the top of all of these sort of statistics, don't you, to be able to win the Premier League?
Well, they're top of set plays, and that's the one that's kept them up there. But I said at half-time, it seems whatever they do, they fall over it. Seems to be a pattern. And we're talking during the game, me and Conor. I can't believe how many times they give away the ball so cheaply. It was so cheap, instead of dictating the game 1-2-0 up and then keeping it and going across that way, drawing Wolves out. They give away, I don't think they put 3 or 4 passes together at too many stages in the second half. And when you're playing against, and I'm not going to get away, Wolves are not a great team. They've got 9 points before tonight. So, they're not the team that we're expecting, that we expect Arsenal to come back from 2-0 down and get a draw with Arsenal. They've got to be more patient. They're forcing it, but they're playing in second gear. And it reminds me when we won the league years ago and it was 1-0 to the Arsenal, it feels like that to me. It feels like we'll get a goal. We're all right now. We won't let in any more goals. It'll be solid. But it doesn't happen. We said that you're always going to get a chance in this football nowadays. And, and fair play to the young kid. The young kid's goal's a good goal. When you're a 19-year-old kid, you've come on for your debut and that ball bounces down, everything's going through your head. And for him to keep that ball like that, he could become a Man City hero. I know they're on all kinds of fronts, but you just take one game at a time. So all you can do is one game at a time. This game had to be looked after. They'll be going back on the coach or the train tonight, and you don't get these moments back. You don't get them back. It was 2 points thrown away, 1,000,000%. It wasn't a point gain like I thought at Brentford. Brentford's a hard place, but they're 2-0 up. You've got to play every game to the last minute. I showed you that when Mane gets it, 3 players go around him, he just walks through them and he passes the ball along. Them moments have to stop. If you want to win Premier Leagues, you have to stop them little moments. And if you don't, as Conor said, Man City will punish you. And now, all of a sudden, from nowhere, from going from the 11 points clear a while back, now it's not even in their hands. And that is unbelievable. That is what's happened.
Although Arsenal, of course, will be disappointed with what's happened tonight, because they've been performing so well this season, they've had so much joy, can they use that again to sort of go back onto a bit of a run and a bit more momentum?
Of course they can use it. I think they can look at they're a top-class team, by the way. So let's not take away the fact that they're a top-class team, because they are, and they've got a world-class manager and a fantastic manager. So for me, they can certainly get to it, but when Bukayo says there about he doesn't think about that sort of stuff, he definitely does when he goes home, 100%. And for me, Merson just mentioned there about fighting on all fronts. For me, the Premier League's got to be your focus. It's got to be your focus. So these games has to be Arsenal's focus. And listen, I've never been in that boat to speak from experience about being in a Premier League title race. But at the same time, we all watch a lot of football, and that has to be the focus. The Premier League being so far in front for so long and not winning it for so long, for me, has to be Arsenal's focus, and that will hit them hard today, because we keep on mentioning Manchester City, but Manchester City's players and Pep Guardiola will be sat at home now, rubbing their hands together, going, right, here we go, it's game on now, we're coming for you. So I definitely think he thinks about it. The pressure will build. I think it is building. I think we can see it with the performance and then the reaction at the end as well at the game.
But in terms of what's to come, compared to Manchester City, how do you see this?
It's all about football's all about timings. You play teams at certain times in the league. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can look down here at West Ham, the 18th in the league, but that might be their game that they're fighting for survival, or they might have won 5 on the trot and they're middle of the table and they're safe and they're on holiday. You just don't know with the timings of the games. Like, Aston Villa could already be in the top 4, cemented, might be in the Europa final, and they're done. Do you know what I mean? And that game's not as hard as what it looks on paper. So it's difficult. I always look at the next two. Arsenal have got Chelsea and Tottenham. They are 2 very difficult games. More so, no disrespect to Newcastle and Leeds. You take Newcastle and Leeds over Spurs and Chelsea to start with.
Yeah, and I think Mace is exactly right. And I know we're going to go on to another slide in a minute, but the big thing I always go off is past experiences and how teams finish. And we know how Manchester City finish. I know we're going to show something in a minute, but we know how they finish. We know how Pep Guardiola finishes, and this obviously shows what we're talking about now. And he is an absolute monster at finishing strong, Pep Guardiola. And that's what I go off. I go off experiences, and I keep mentioning about Man City being sat at home, but they'll be sat at home now looking at this going, yeah, this is a bit of us. So, yeah, we look at this here and how they finish seasons. It's unbelievable the way they do it.
Yeah, this is just demonstrating the amount of points won by both Arsenal and Manchester City over the last 4 Premier League seasons in the last 12 games. Of course, different teams. You can argue whether Manchester City have got the same team as what they've had the last couple of seasons. But when you look at that, you speak about the experience. They're going to need to get this momentum, aren't they? Because they don't want the same thing to happen where City are having such a strong end to the season and Arsenal can't keep up.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Arsenal's shoes if it happens again. I mean, I was quite shocked with the interview of Arteta then. First time, really, I've seen him not majorly positive. Do you know what I mean? Usually he comes out, you know, we've done this, we've done that. And he's saying, oh, we deserve the hit, we deserve the hit. You know, instead of coming out and going, we're 5 points clear, as long as we don't get beat by Man City, we go same as them, we win the league. Wasn't like that. Even he was I was a bit worried with that interview. Even he's finding it now and he's thinking, wow, you can only do to the team so much. And when you're watching that, there's something missing. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something missing. And if I had to highlight something, I would highlight what Marnie did to the three lads. Madueke, Martinelli, Saka. He brings the ball down and he just literally turns away from them. First half or 7, 9, 10 games ago, they take the ball off him and they're up the pitch and it's a counter-attack. Something's missing. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes if they don't win the league this year, because if they ain't winning the league this year, you know, I remember Patrick Vieira saying before the Man United game when he was on with Roy Keane, he said now or never. And I'm starting to think now. I was very bullish about Arsenal winning the league. That's half scared me tonight.
If you're playing that dressing room tonight and you're looking ahead to the next couple of games, of course, you've got Northern and Derby coming up at the weekend. How important is the reaction now?
It's important for leaders within the dressing room. I know there's a lot of leaders in that dressing room. Bukayo obviously come out and spoke. We've also got Gabriel, Saliba, obviously Odegaard's behind the scenes now as well, being injured. It's about leaders stepping forward, about leaders standing up strong, going in tomorrow, wiping the floor with it, going, right, that's gone now. The next one is the big one, which is a big one for Arsenal. It's absolutely massive. And then after that, there's another big one. So we're talking about 2 massive ones coming up for Arsenal now. And it's important they dust themselves down, they get themselves going, they look at where they went wrong tonight, because I think a lot's gone wrong tonight for Arsenal, and really put it to bed then for Sunday, because, like I said, 2 real big games coming up.